Okay guys, well we're back out in the garage and got a couple more CT70s as a winter project. So I've got the ones that we've got fixed up already are the 1971 here, the blue one, and the green one, 1975. But the two that I just picked up are the blue one, the other blue one, which is a 1973, and then the one up on the hydraulic table, which is a 1976. And the 73 and the 76 are going to be the winter project for this year. So, and they both need significant work. I picked them up at a very good deal, but for a very good reason. They both have significant issues. Definitely both have engine problems as well. But that said, they're in very good condition. So other than that, other than the fact they don't run and they need engine work, they're in very good shape, cosmetically anyways. So I'm really looking forward to the project. The 1976 definitely has low compression, and I'm going to be putting an 88cc kit on that one, so I'm looking forward to doing that work. And then the 1973, don't really know yet, but I can tell you it definitely has engine trouble. It sort of turns over kind of, shall we say, chunky. Chunky is probably the right word, so that's definitely not good. We're going to see what we have to do, and then we're going to ideally work on it together. So I am quite excited about this, quite excited about doing the work, and I am hopeful that you guys are as excited to to see some of it as well. So you know what, without going on and on about it, let's just crack on. Okay guys, so what we're going to do, as I mentioned, we've got two bikes to work on here. We've got the 1976 here up on the hydraulic table, which I'm going to tackle first. And then we also have the 1973 right here, which I'm going to tackle second. I think I'm going to tackle second anyways. I never really like to start two projects at once for, for kind of obvious reasons of getting everything mixed up. But yeah, so this is the one we're going to work on first. And I've already started just a little bit, really just enough to go and determine that the engine does need a top end rebuild. I'm pretty sure it's just top end. We're going to find out, and we're going to put an 88cc kit on this one. As you can see, she's in pretty good shape, and it does have a seat, yada yada. I did take the seat off already, and have, like I said, dug into it a little bit. Basically, once in a while I can maybe get it to pop, but basically it doesn't have enough compression to do anything. And I went and I've fully adjusted the valves, thinking that maybe, and they were significantly out of adjustment, by the way, but that wasn't the issue. So it just isn't got enough compression to really fire at all. So we are going to start with taking this apart, and what we're going to do, I think the first thing we're going to do at this stage is take the carburetor off, right? We'll take the carburetor and the intake off, and then we're going to loosen off. We're going to try to actually remove the head here. We're going to try to remove the head without actually taking these bars off, just simply because I like the way they support it on my hydraulic table. So I'm going to try to, if we need to take those off, we will. But I think what we're going to do is just take the bolts out here. And I think these will just come forward a little bit, enough for us to get the head off. I could be wrong. We're going to find out together to see if we can do it that way. But yeah, that's going to be the first bit. I have ordered an 88C kit from CHP that some of you may be aware of. It's not, there's a variety of kits. I've not got the super high-end one. I've got sort of the one that just provides the, the cylinder jug plus piston and rings and gasket kit, etc. I don't think the head has any issues with this kit. So, and I'm not really looking to turn this thing into a major performance machine. I'm really just looking to get it to run well. So we may augment, the 88C cylinder and jug at some point with a new head, or maybe a new carburetor or whatnot, but that's not really the plan for this initial build. It's just to kind of get it running and get it running well. So that's kind of the goal here. So those parts, I did order them about a week ago. They haven't arrived yet. I'm hopeful they're going to arrive this coming week. So in anticipation of that, we are going to start doing some work. So hey, let's get after it, and hey, let's crack on. Okay guys, let's start by taking this carburetor off. So we're just going to undo the slide here, undo the throttle at the top of the carb. This just, for those of you guys that know, I'm just going to try to do this as if, you know, you don't know, but I'm gonna, for people that may not. But yeah, that's the slide, and we can just pull that out, leave it like that, and set it aside. So that's pretty simple. Now what we're going to do is actually just undo it at the intake side here. And so I've actually replaced these. These would normally be hex head, you know, bolts, but I had taken this carburetor off previously, and I like to replace those sorts of bolts with, it might be overkill, but with stainless steel Allen key head bolts. I just really like these things. They always look great. They do a great job. You never have an issue with them. It's a few pennies, but you know, it is what it is. So I just really, once I take stuff apart, you know, struggle with getting it apart. I don't like to ever struggle again. You know why? Because I'm just lazy, I guess. All right, so let's pull this off. Great. All right, got our curb there. We got a little bit of gas coming out of it. That's fine. I'm just going to set her down there for right now. Okay, guys. So now we're going to actually take the bolts off that's holding the engine guard, and again, we're just going to take these off. Hopefully, this will just go forward a little bit, enabling us to take the head off. That's kind of the hope. That's the dream. So let's go for it. So let's just give that a go. Okay. Okay, the next bit with this is we do need to take the timing chain off. So you'll notice the timing chain cover here. Inside here is the chain that goes down here through the jug, right, and onto this part of the engine here. So what we want you to do is we need to take that timing chain off, because the timing chain being on there is not going to allow us to take the head off, okay? So you'll notice there's nothing here, right? There's nothing on there to go and remove. So what you have to do, right, and a lot of you guys know this, right, but I'm just going to show those that may not know, is you come over here and you'll notice this little bolt right here, okay? That's on exactly the opposite side of our timing chain cover, okay? So this is just, I believe, if I recall, yeah, it's a 10mm bolt. So we just need to take that bolt out. It's got a long bolt that goes through here and holds this cover on, okay? So that's the next thing that we're gonna do. And I'm just manually showing you here because, yeah, I'm gonna have the camera on the stand. You're not gonna actually see this when I do it, but that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, guys, let's just go and you know, remove that timing chain cover bolt. So I'm just using the 10mm on it here. Just gotta move the bike a little bit. All right. All right, and there is that bolt. Okay, so that was pretty simple. So let's get that into our bin of bits and bobs. And now we can remove our timing chain cover. It looks like somebody has used a little silicone on there, or it's just stuck on. So we need to unstick it. Let's grab a thin screwdriver maybe and give it a little gentle pry here. Nothing too severe. Don't want to harm anything. So I'm going to get a knife here and see if I can just kind of encourage it off. I don't really want to mark it up. No, it's just going to get a blade in there or something. Ah, there we go. That worked. Okay, great. So we got that off of there and without marring it up, so that's good. And now we can see our timing chain. Now I'm going to adjust the camera so you can see this a bit better. Okay guys, now that we have the cover off, we can see the timing chain and the timing chain gear. We can see that as well. Now I could remove these bolts here to then take the chain off, to then get the head off. But before I do that, I actually want to take this cover off. And I want to take this cover off here as well, okay? And I don't have to do it in this order, but we're going to have these covers off anyways, because when we put the new jug on, you know, the new cylinder, new piston, and reassemble the engine, we're going to need to, when we put the timing chain back on, we're going to need to time the engine, and to time the engine, we need to have this off. So we may as well just take it off right now. there's no necessity to. So if somebody watching this video don't want to do this, well, I guess you don't have to. But you're gonna have to take it off to go and put it back together again anyway. So that's why I'm doing it. So what we're gonna do now is just start with this. I'm noticing there's already a couple of bolts missing here. Not a big deal. When I put this back together again, I am going to use those stainless steel Allen key bolts anyways. So this is not going to probably be, it'll be saved, definitely saved, the little 10 millimeters that are on it, but I am not going to reuse them, I don't think. Okay, see, I'm just going to set that up there for a moment. Now, the next bit here is to take off these screws. Okay, so there are one screw here, and I can't quite recall. There's definitely a bolt down here. That looks like 10 millimeter. That's kind of funny. I thought these were all, JIS. And what I mean by JIS, for those that don't know, is Japanese Industrial Standard screwdrivers, okay? It looks like a Phillips head here, right? You'd think that's a Phillips head. Well, no, it's not. It's a Japanese Industrial Standard shape of the of what looks like to be Phillips. And you need a JIS screwdriver not to round stuff out. So I can see that one is even camming out a little bit on this. So what I'm going to do is rather than trying too hard, I'm going to use a JIS impact on that. I'm just going to grab a hammer. Okay, so this also is Japanese Industrial Standard. Okay, it's just an impact. It's just a, what do you call it? Driver? I'm using the wrong term, aren't I? Anyways, you guys can correct me. I am going to remove this way. There we go. Holy smokes. Well, that one's not going back in there. I guarantee you that. And this is why I replace these things with stainless steel Allen key heads, because yeah, look at that. And this is using the correct impact driver, using a Japanese industrial style driver. If I would try to use this with anything North American Phillips, call it US Phillips screwdriver, this would be a drill out issue. Guaranteed this would have never come out of here. So whew, glad that's out of there and it's never going back in. Okay guys, now that we got that painful machine screw out of there, now we're going to take off this bolt down here, and this one here is 10 millimeters, so let's just give that a go, and that should enable us to take this cover off. Comes off a lot easier, doesn't it? This has just got a regular headed bolt on it, which I don't think that's actually standard, but not a surprise that machines of this age have been worked on a little bit in the past, although I don't think this one's been worked on a long time. So let me just get rid of this one. Actually, let's set that aside over here. Hang on. So let's take a look, and let's move this to, we should have a T on the top of this somewhere. Let's take a look where we can find our mark. I may have to grab a little bit more light here. Oh yeah, there we go. There's our T mark. Now you notice in the case here, hopefully the camera picks this up, but you can see right here, okay, right here, you can see a little notch, right? And on the top, you know what? I'm going to take you off the stand so you can see this a little bit better. Hang on a sec. Okay guys, well, now that we have that flywheel cover off, we can now kind of see what's going on, and I wanted to show you the timing and how it works on a CT70 before we take the thing apart, for two reasons. I actually want to check it myself as well. I mentioned that this engine is not running. I believe it's low compression, but you know what can definitely make an engine not run? Totally messed up timing. So it doesn't hurt for us to check it before we take it apart, and that's the other reason I wanted to take the flywheel cover off and look at this before I took the timing chain off, although I could have done that first. Hopefully that makes some sense. So there's a mark on the engine case here, right here, okay, right there. You'll see that little notch, okay, on the engine case. And that is our reference point for our timing marks, okay? Then on the flywheel, we have a couple of different timing marks. One of them, and the one that we want to look at right now, it says T on it, okay? So I'm putting my glasses on, make sure I'm looking at the right one. Yeah, there we go. I'll see if we can zoom in on that. You'll notice that there is a T stamped into into the flywheel here, okay? And that is what we want to reference. Now, when that's on this mark here, lined up with the notch in the case, then there's a corresponding mark on the timing gear wheel, or on the timing chain gear wheel here, and it is a little dot. And at the moment, it is right here. There's two positions that this can be in, okay? Because this is a four-stroke engine, it actually takes 2 full revolutions to get to the right spot, okay? And you'll notice as well on, can we see it on here because of this gasket? Oh, maybe because of this gasket we can't see it. But yeah, let me just pause the video here. I'm going to take this gasket off so you can see what I'm talking about a little bit better. Because there's a mark here, and at the moment we're not seeing it, but I want you to see it. Okay guys, I've got that gasket off so we can a little bit more easily see the timing marks. So I've already showed you where the T lines up with the engine case. Now we're going to look at the timing gear here a little bit, and you'll notice that there's a timing mark on the inside here, right there. Do you see that? Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Right there. Okay, and what we want, there's a corresponding, call it a dimple or a strike mark, a little circle, on the timing gear itself right here. So because this is a 4-stroke engine, it actually takes 2 full revolutions to actually complete the 4 cycles. We need to actually get this little mark over to here and line up. So as long as it lines up in one of those positions, then it is in time. So currently it is not, but it just might be that we need to turn the wheel. So this is where we find out if it's in time or not. So I'm going to turn this to the T 1 full stroke. So that's what I'm turning it 1 full stroke over. I just have to look at this now myself. Let me just see where the T is. Let's move this until we get back to the T. And there's our T mark right there. Okay, now we'll take a look and see where our strike mark is. And there it is. It's right there. And if we let me just grab my pointer here to kind of more closely show you where it's supposed to line up. It is supposed to line up right there. So you can see it is perfectly in time, which is what you'd expect. I mean, it really, unless you've got an incredibly stretched chain and it skipped a tooth, or in case in case somebody set it up wrong, you would not normally expect to see a problem here. But because the engine doesn't run, I wanted to double check it. So we've done that. Now we can actually take that timing chain and timing gear off to enable the removal of the head. So let's do that next. Okay guys, let's give this another go using the impact. The beauty of that is I don't think we'll need to hold the gears, so let's just give this a go. Alrighty, that's simple, eh? So yeah, let's just take those out of there. Okay. Done. And now then we want to take that chain off. So let's just grab this here. A couple of studs that it sits on, so there we go. And we don't have to be too worried about this because we're just ripping it apart at this point. You can just take this gear out of here. Try not to lose it. Oh, there goes my flashlight. That's okay, not a big deal. Probably a little bit darker for you guys, but so I'm carrying on here. Okay, great. So we got her out. Simple. Now, the gear obviously is a timing chain here as well, but what that will enable us to do now is, when we remove the acorn nuts, etc., will enable us to remove the head. So that's going to be the next step. Alrighty, so now the next step is to take the head off. So again, we're gonna find out if we can actually do it or not, or we're gonna have to take this off or take the fender off. We're gonna find out, I guess, but we're gonna give her a go. Now there was a bolt in here, which I did take out, and then we've got to take off these acorn nuts. I've got a couple of them off, and these ones are just loose, so I'm just going to take these off. Very simple. These are 10mm acorn nuts, okay? So very simple stuff to get these off. Alrighty, so those are off. So now technically this thing should be free. I'm just gonna put those acorn nuts away. So I'll lose them. I'm gonna bring my little container back over here. Okay. So now what we want to do is take the head off. Is it just gonna come, or it's gonna need a whack? Oh, you know what we need? You know what we forgot? We gotta take the muffler off. We forgot about that. So yeah, you know what? Before we do anything else, we gotta take that muffler off. So you know what? Let's do that next. Okay guys, this probably ranks up there with one of those things we say, do not try this at home, having this thing sort of tipped over onto a hydraulic table. The great thing about these bikes is they're nice and light, you can do stuff. But you know what, I'm looking at this exhaust to get it off. The other, hopefully you can see this, there are two nuts on this, one on this side and then one down here, and it's just really awkward to get it off because of this engine guard, and there's only 2 bolts that hold this thing on. I mean, obviously we took the other 4 off already, the 10 millimeters which you saw earlier, but the only additional ones are these 2 here. So what I'm going to do is, just to make life easy, and you know that's what it's all about, right? Must make life easy. I'm just going to take that engine guard right off, and then we can get at, not only are we going to be able to get at the exhaust a lot easier over there, because as you can see it's kind of tight in here, but it's also going to enable us to get that head off a lot easier too. So rather than struggling to get that the exhaust bolt off, I am just going to take this off and then we'll do that. So that's what's going on here. Okay guys, let's take this muffler off. So I think what we're going to do is we'll probably take it right off. I mean, I guess we don't have to, we don't do it here, but I think we're going to take it right off. So this is going to be, that's 12 millimeter for that one there. So let's grab the 12 millimeter wrench and let's give her a go. Yeah, 12 is what it is. And then yeah, down here we need to go and take this guy off. Now this is 10 millimeter. I've already got the other side off, and there's usually a couple of what would you call it? Split pieces that are in behind the flange that have to come out. And yeah, we'll see how difficult it is to get this thing out of here. Hopefully it's not too difficult once we get the bolts out. You know, just take it off at the bracket here. There we go. They're loose enough we can got our finger tight now. Okay, now let's get this out of here. Ta-da! Hey, look at that. We got the exhaust off, so that's great. Hey guys, I just thought I'd show you here. I think you heard me mention that there would be a split flange on this. Well, I was wrong, because this is a 1976 bike, and they did make a change from the earlier bikes. The earlier bikes had it had this collar, but it was basically split, and you'd have to insert those pieces in there. And they've changed the design. I'm not exactly sure what year, maybe 75 or 70, certainly by 76, because this is a 76. But you can see it's a solid piece on there. And you know what? That's a lot easier to deal with. It just, as you can see, it just came out. So anyways, I just thought I'd mention that in case you're wondering what I was talking about. We'll probably see that on the 73 bike when we eventually get to that blue 73. I'm sure probably have to take that one off too. It very well may have the split flange. Not that it matters too much, but anyways, just thought I'd show you that. Okay guys, we're now at the stage. We've got the muffler off, we've got the timing chain off, we've got the carburetor off, we've undone all of the acorn nuts that were on here. There was also the other one bolt that goes and bolts into the cylinder jug over on this side, which we took out. So we've done all of that. We also took off the engine guard, took that off to make accessibility a little bit easier. We're now at the stage where we can finally take this head off. So let's see if we can do that. Now, hopefully it'll work. Hopefully the fender isn't in our way here, but we're gonna give her a go and see. So let's just see if we can get her off. Can we do it? Can we do it? Just, oh come on, you're so close. You are so close. How much extra we've got on there. Maybe if we turn the wheel the other way, what do you think? Will that give us a little bit more room? Does it matter? I don't know. Oh gosh. Really? Okay, well, I guess I gotta remove this fender then on this bike. What I can do to get more No, nothing more I can do. Okay, well, it is what it is. So I guess we need to take that off. So there's a couple of bolts from the underside here to take that fender off. So in fact, I don't know if you guys can even see it. Let me turn it here. Yeah, so there's a couple of bolts on the underside here to take the fender off. And I was hoping we could avoid that, but yeah, I guess we have to take that off. So I'll get the tools and we'll do that. Alrighty, let's loosen off this fender here, guys. Maybe we can just loosen it, eh? Do you figure? Well, you know what? I think that did her. That's all we need to do. Okay, guys. So you know what? We don't have the fender off, but we've got it loosened sufficiently that I'm pretty sure we can now get this head off. So let's give it a go. And there we go. Is it gonna work for us? Yes. There we go. There's our head. Fantastic. So yeah, that's got our head off. So there we go. Not too bad. Doesn't even look too terribly bad in there, although I think we're going to do some work on this head to clean it up. Make sure the valves are good before we put her back on. But yeah, it's all good. So that, I think, is going to end it for this video. So let me just grab the camera here. So yeah, guys, I think that does it for this video. So we've got this to the stage where we've got the we've got the head off and we're good to go. I think I mentioned off the top, I'm waiting for parts from CHP. So you know what? I don't want to do a lot more and can't do a lot more until we get the parts. So that's going to be the next thing. So if the parts take quite a while, we might dig into the 1973 as well. We'll just see how that goes. But for now, that's going to be the end of this one. So anyways, I hope everybody's doing great. And if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. I really do appreciate that. And also, please leave a comment. You know, I'm just a tinkering guy. I sometimes do stuff right and wrong. If I'm doing stuff wrong, please do let me know. And if, yeah, I'm also, for every comment, I reply to every comment you leave. So anyways, guys, I hope you're doing great. And yeah, we'll see how this goes in the next video. Bye for now.